keep this panel up here until after 5, answering questions about the industry. I mean, the talent that I have sitting to my left and the talent that I have sitting to my right is just extraordinary. If you guys had this 6 people in the room at all times, there's nothing you would not know about the Arizona, and I would venture to guess a lot of the Colorado, California, and American industry. So, again, the superstar panel. Let's briefly start with our extractors, and they'll tell you a little bit about that career, how they get involved. Obviously, they weren't extracting from any trade school or apprenticeship or university. They learned to extract and they became experts in certain different ways. Now they're involved in the American Arizona medical marijuana industry. So let's let them self-introduce, tell you how they got into the industry, how they first found a role for themselves in the industry, the progression that they've been through, and we'll talk a little about their role. Then we're going to get back to the higher level stuff about the industry as a whole with Drew and Matt, Evan, and Hector. So Peggy, go ahead.
Hi. Do I need that? No, I don't need that. Okay. So I'm Peggy Noonan. I have an infused product company, Cornucopia. Thank you. So I actually started, this was my first career out of college. And I won't say how long ago that was. And I went into a forced retirement for many years. So then I became a drug counselor, and so then when this opportunity rolled around and my partner got 2 licenses, Green Med and Purple Med, in Tucson and Rio Rico, he offered me the opportunity to partner and do an infused product company. So Cornucopia is an infused product company. We have all types of products, about 40 different products of all different kinds of dosages, and tinctures to edibles to baked goods and so forth. So in regard to this, we're at the tip of the iceberg. There's all kinds of ideas and types of things that you can come up with that we're looking for. There's all just huge variety of opportunities. When we started, we used an extraction method of using kief. That was because the law in Arizona at the time restricted concentrates, and we didn't want to take a chance. So we used kief. When that law changed, we went to a short time to BHO, and then we have the state-of-the-art waters machine. So we do CO2 oil for all of our edibles. Now, the wholesale market. In regard to the wholesale market, we wholesale throughout the state. So we supply our dispensaries, and then most of the dispensaries throughout the state. And that's really challenging, to try to figure out what market, who wants what. Different parts of Phoenix want different things than other parts. So totally different demographics want different infused products, and different pricing, and different dosing, and so forth. So we're constantly trying to understand and ask questions. And ask questions of patients, ask questions at dispensaries, what do you want? So it's challenging. And then there's branding, and labeling, and packaging, and all of that goes into any product, you know? It's basically like any business, trying to grow it, get market share. So we're looking at, you know, our branding. We're looking at what we're naming different products. What's the packaging? You know, does it need to change? The dosing, what do people want? So we're always looking for people, you know, with ideas and product ideas. You know, anything that's new, we're interested in. Then we distribute. So we distribute throughout the state. And so right now, we in-house distribute. And everybody that distributes and works for us has to have an agent card. An agent card costs $500 per agent, and it's renewed every year for another $500. So, you know, we want people to be committed and ideally stay for a year, and it works out. So distribution in the future, as things progress, that could be a career in and of itself, because we could have distribution warehouses that set up in different places and distribute throughout the state. The same, you know, with wholesale and packaging and labeling and everything. So what we're looking for, I also have a construction company and development company, and a food service design and equipment company, which is what brought me into doing the infused product part of the business. So we're looking for people that have commercial kitchen experience, agriculture, chemistry. The first time in my life that I wished I had paid more attention to science and chemistry, which were my worst subjects, you know. So, and now it's just fascinating, you know, trying to understand all the different aspects of the plant and the extraction process. Because I've done my own extraction process. So I've done every bit and piece of everything to really have a handle on it, and it's really interesting. So extraction and infusion experience, product ideas, products already formulated, branding, packaging, sales, marketing, and distribution. So we're looking for, you know, anybody that has any ideas, come and talk to me. And we're also in booth 912 and 813. So.
Yeah, there's a lot to extraction. It's a weird science that really didn't exist, really, until just a couple of years ago. There's all this crazy technology coming out, whether it's CO2 or VHO or alcohol or propane or hexane. You know, or water, or coconut oil. Anyway, I could go on and on and on. So, so we got the lady Alex. I want to have you come up here and talk to the folks about a little about what you do, man.
All right. Everybody hear me okay? Good mics? Okay. Well, my name's Alex Sternheim. I've been pursuing this industry for a long time, officially from the beginning. I've been researching extraction since about 2009. It is very close to me. It's benefited people very close to me. In 2010, I started a water pipe company, and a big approach to that was being able to be hands-on with the patients. When you're in a head shop, you have to avoid using the word bong or whatever. And for us to be able to work with patients directly through Cannabis Networks was really, really special. And I attended the U of A. Upon graduating, I began working for Bloom Dispensaries. Now I work with Cornucopia Infusions, partnered with Purple Med in Tucson. But today I'm going to talk about cannabis extractions and concentrates. This is an honor for me because it's such an exciting topic. It is at the center of a lot of attention right now, and to see it go forward in Arizona is a long time coming. Cannabis extractions, for those that don't have the baseline knowledge, it refers to separating select components such as cannabinoids and terpenoids from cannabis plant material. Cannabinoids and terpenoids are beneficial by themselves, but when used in conjunction can produce profound and diverse effects. Although the regulation of cannabis extractions is an emerging element of the cannabis industry, hash, as we know, has been around for thousands of years. It's not new. Sorry, one second. Essential oils and botanical extractions as well are in common practice in other industries. But in the American medical cannabis industry, we've seen ice water and ethanol extractions for quite some time, but not much regulation. That's because it wasn't seen as a volatile process. But before I go further, I think it's pertinent to mention a landmark decision on which members of the AMMP have an established precedent for the regulation of cannabis extractions. Welton versus the state of Arizona provided a court decision that allowed patients to use marijuana extracts without fear of prosecution. This was a momentous occasion. But on September 14th of this year, Xander Welton passed away. And I never got to meet him, but my deepest condolences to his family, and I hope his bravery can always be remembered, and may he rest in peace. So, you're all interested, I'm assuming, in pursuing a career in cannabis extractions. It helps to have a background in organic chemistry or botanical extractions in other industries. That being said, I do not have a background in organic chemistry. I fall into a category of people whose fascination with organic chemistry was inspired by cannabis. And more so a distinct need for the extracted refined oil from it for a loved one. I no longer worry about the welfare for my family because extracts are available in state licensed dispensaries, and it's a great time to be alive. But cannabis extraction, like I said, in industry application is still in its infancy. Aspiring professionals, perhaps yourselves, find yourself in a catch-22 when pursuing extractions as a career. If you already have experience, you will be more employable. But extracting cannabis at home is illegal. So the best advice is, the more research you do before applying for the job, the better position you're going to be in. My research, or most research and training, can be done without ever performing an extraction. Understanding the science is, again, essential. So another thing I want to talk about are innovations and machines and tools that have developed the science of extracting. They've been pivotal to the advancement of the study as a whole, and I feel confident that we haven't discovered the most effective process of extracting oil from cannabis, and that's something that needs to be discovered. A contributing factor that brings us closer to this goal is the free exchange of information by a community of extraction artists. And the Secret Cup is a competition for extraction artists. And contrary to the name, it's not a secret. Anyone can sign up. And no matter what your level of knowledge, you'll be able to go to an event like that and learn more about it. They've added an educational component, and it's really special to watch what kinds of developments can come out of that kind of exchange of information, because you don't see it very often. And I'm sure a lot of people, even at an event like this, are going to be hesitant towards talking about their processes and things that have taken them maybe 10, 20 years to develop. But if you're already an expert now and you know it, consulting with emerging cannabis enterprises can be substantial and very influential. As a consultant, you wouldn't be limited to one state. Cannabis extraction consulting is a highly reputable enterprise, and it mirrors the growth of cultivation consulting. And if you're already a hybrid consultant specializing in seed to sale, then it would be pertinent to incorporate extractions into your repertoire. New medical and recreational markets are emerging. But as research advances, so do the number of jobs available. Right now, it might seem like working in cannabis extractions is a closed industry, a closed trade, but that's going to change as scales increase. Due to the nature of Arizona's medical program, extractions are in a very poised position for growth because of scales. Large investments are being made in this sector right now. I also want to talk about heat pressure extractions because they've been a talking point in just the last year. The actual process of heat and pressure extracting essential oil from cannabis is not new, but it's because it is growing so fast, we should look at it. If you're not familiar, you might know it as hair straightener hash or rosin. And regardless of how long it's been around, there's one trend that we see from this, that an increased number of patients or cannabis users have started performing small batch extractions with this method in a cost-effective manner without volatile chemicals and endangering themselves and others. And that's worth looking at in and of itself. Sorry. So, why do we care so much about extractions? They provide the consistency that researchers need in order to advance the study of cannabis. There exists too many variables when researching with raw materials to derive conclusive information. It also allows patients the means of administering a high dose of medicine with minimal negative impact. Modern extractions, they definitely open the door to a new demographic of individuals that did not previously benefit from available cannabis products, but mainly because they were in such small increments and not predictable. But with the advancement of extraction processes, infused products have become stronger, they've become more effective and more predictable, and a novel approach to advocacy could prove lucrative for aspiring professionals. So finding new ways to introduce the benefits of cannabis extractions into people's lives is key. That's been a passion of mine, and I hope it is for this industry going forward, because it's going to change a lot of people's lives. Anyway, thanks for having me.
Save the best for last there, Alex. Thank you. That was a fantastic presentation. Evan, do you want to jump in?